Hey you guys, how y'all doing? Welcome back. Welcome back to another session of the self-esteem series. I can definitely say this series has been very informative, and I think it's helpful for anybody who has been watching this series so far. Today we are so happy because we have a very new and special guest, and she's going to be giving us some information about self-esteem on the hurting teenager. Welcome, Tabitha.
Hi, and thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for being here, Tabitha. I'm so happy that you came here and you're gonna share some information with us today. Today, like I said, we are talking about self-esteem in the hurting teenager. I think this is a very important topic and I think it's very sensitive. Why is it important for the hurting teenager, that hurting teenager, to have a good self-esteem?
Okay, first off, I want to say that according to my understanding, self esteem is having a good feeling about yourself. It is only fair that we all have a good feeling about ourselves. So, this is the first and foremost reason why a teenager, whether hurting or not, to have a good feeling about themselves. So, to narrow it down to the hurting teenager, the main reason I would say, of course, is to have a good feeling about themselves. And of course, later on, I can speak about many reasons why we all want to have a good feeling about ourselves.
Okay, so we have this hurting teenager who is struggling with a low self-esteem, and we know teenage years like is a very difficult time for, I think, just about everybody. Why is it important for that hurting teenager to navigate through that difficult time with low self-esteem? How does that teenager get through that difficult time?
Well, I see that you asked me questions on solution, but I want to answer that question. But can I first touch on what would cause a teenager to have low self-esteem? Because of course, um, I don't think we are born with low self-esteem. Do you think we are born with low self-esteem? I mean, every child that is born to their parent, we're expecting that our child would grow up being that bubbly child, that expressive child. But something happens along the way for some persons where they move through the stages, of course, baby, toddler, infant, and they move on pretty into teen, and you realize, boom, you have a teenager that has low self-esteem. Where did the problem start? And first off, I want to say that at some point in our lives, we all get hurt, and we also may end up hurting people. At the end of the day, is how we handle it. Now, if a teenager is not equipped to handle hurt or disappointment, it can have a serious impact on their self-esteem. One of the things we know, or one of the places where self-esteem can be built is from the home. So as a parent, you have a great role in assisting your child, not teenager because they are not born as teenagers, assisting your child to grow with a level of self-esteem. But one of the things through my research, I realized that what hinders the growth of self-esteem sometimes is what we say to our children as parents. What you say to them is important. And at the beginning of the session, I mentioned about feeling good. Why do you want to feel good about yourself? Everyone wants to feel accepted. And in the teenage years, that is the time when, let me tell you, the hormones are raging. That's the time you want the guys to see your body, your looks, the hair. Come on. Yes, we are spiritual people, but we have the physical side, the emotional side. That's the time you want to feel accepted. You want to feel liked. You want to have certain friends. So you would do what it takes to have the type of friends. You want people to be proud of what you do. You want people to commend you. You want people to believe in you, to help you believe in yourself. So back to your question. It is important for a teenager to have good self-esteem, to achieve all of those things that I mentioned, to feel liked and accepted. You need to have a level of self-esteem because that level of self-esteem would determine how you dress, how you care for your body, how you speak. It determines a lot. That self-esteem will determine whether you accept compliments well, because even with low self-esteem, you might say to me, Mrs. Prosper, I think you are a beautiful young lady, and because of my self-esteem, I might not believe you. So it is important for a young teen to have a certain level of healthy self-esteem so that they are able to believe in themselves.
I absolutely love the causes that you give. That was a very detailed and very good answer. I love the causes that you give, especially when you said that it starts in the home. And I think that is so very vital. I think I even want you to elaborate on that a little bit more. And then I want you to go into other places that affects after the home. What is the next place? So elaborate on the home and then go into the next places that affects a child's self-esteem and that as they become that teenager.
Thank you so much. I will. Okay, so you have a child growing up. We need to say to our children um, the things that they do good, we need to compliment them. And you find that, I mean, I can speak, I'm no longer a teenager, but growing up, it's no secret that when you do the things that displeases your parents, all you would hear is, you lazy, you did not do this. You would hear all the things that you did not do right. But the moment you get it right, you would never hear, I must say, I'm proud of you, I'm happy, you did it the right way today. And you find this is one of the first things that breaks an individual's self-esteem. Now, mind you, it's not every teen, because there are certain qualities in persons, for example, assertiveness, or persons that are very stubborn like me. You don't really let what persons say get to you, in a sense. So there are some teenagers who go through it smooth sailing. However, there are some, they sink. So they look up to their parents so much to the point that whatever their parents say about them, they start to believe. And once you start to believe what your parents say to you, you start to behave. So imagine you keep telling the child you're lazy, and the child grows up to be a teenager and they keep being lazy because they actually believe that they are lazy. And you keep wondering, why am I speaking to that teenager day in, day out, saying the very same things and they're not changing? It is because you have made them to believe whatever that you're saying they are believing this. So they are now executing the qualities of that, whether it's laziness, greediness, selfishness, whatever it is.
Can I just interrupt with just a quick amen? I just want to drop an amen there and you could continue.
Another area where, and I am actually thinking that you're so fortunate in that I was a teen one and I am a teacher. So I can speak from even a teacher point of view. That is another area where what your teacher says to you, let me tell you, it can make or break you. Because think of it, in a day, you spend 9 to 2:33 with your teacher. The hours that you spend at school are way more than you spend a week at home. Because by the time you get up in the morning, get ready, school, back home, a few hours sleep. So in my position as a teacher, I have seen what it is to be low self-esteem, even among infant school children, because I teach infant age. And what I do, my purpose, because I understand it as a teacher, is I try to build my students' self-esteem, because once I realize it, I say, no, I need to fix it. This is an area where it can further break a teenager. So imagine you getting that at home, and in the school, you know nothing. You cannot get anything right. That's all you hear from your teacher. And when you actually get it right, no praise, no high five, no reward. This further crushes. And then we can extend it out to, of course, we gather at church, because we meet our brethren, and there you are going through that situation at home, at school, and then at church now you have persons treating you in the very same way. These are the main core areas I would say for a teenager, because at that point they're not working, so I cannot take it to the workplace yet. That's the core areas that can really make or break their self-esteem. Just one more thing I wanted to say. A note: the people in our lives, they can affect how we feel about ourselves. However, it doesn't determine how you feel about yourself. I just want to make that clear out there. However, the key persons around us can assist us, because one thing I realize about self-esteem, I could be wrong, you correct me if I'm wrong, I do not think it is constant, because today I can have a very high self-esteem and something can happen in my life where it breaks that self-esteem level, it decreases it. So I believe that the key persons around us are there to assist us along the way, to build us and maintain. So I just wanted to make this clear to everybody.
Thank you so much. Wow. Oh my gosh, Sally, you have me like I just want to sit and listen to you speak all day. So you spoke about the teacher, and I just want to touch on that just really quickly. You said about how the teacher could help break that self-esteem. Would you say that in self? Let's talk about a little bit about self-esteem in education for that hurting teenager. Would you say that it would affect their learning? And I'm just saying like could it be that this teenager who has a lot of capabilities, but because of their self-esteem being broken, that they would not perform as well in school, even though they have the capability to learn?
You hit the nail on the head. You are very correct. And I can explain further. So for example, like I said, I teach infant age. I have this thing with my class. I have 20 students. They are at different ability levels. Every day, I say to them, repeat after me, I am bright. I can learn. I can read. And I tell them, when you go home, look at yourself in the mirror and you say that to yourself. Even if at the end of the term, that child doesn't pass, the child leaves my class knowing that they are bright. So no matter what you say to them, Mrs. Prospect taught them that I am bright. At some point, that child will make baby steps for you. And I can give a testimony this week. I mean, even with the COVID situation, the students are at home, so we have not really had much interaction with them. Of course, when they came back, we do spelling words. Of course, we do the sight words with them. And ordinarily, I would have had my below average students getting 0 or not remembering the words. And I mean, through many reasons, which we will not go into. And I can say this week, I was so happy that I'm seeing students getting 8 out of 11, 6 out of 11. Why? Because I instill in them that you can do it. And even after they don't get it, even if I say to you, you are bright and you don't get it, I take you one-on-one and I say, you can do it. Let me help you. So I think, let's bring it to a teenager now. I don't teach teenagers, but I've worked with them. If you have a teenager that is full of capability, you need to first make that teenager believe that they have the capability. If they do not believe that they can draw, they will not draw for you. So if you keep bringing in that teenager's head, wow, I love your drawing. You can go very far with this. I am there to support you. I am here to tell you what to do, to correct you along the way. So you start by using encouraging words, then you back it up by action. You don't just tell the child, you can do it. You show the child that you are giving them the tools now to get it done. You help them to understand that along the way, they will make mistakes. However, they have an opportunity to do it over and over and get better at it. So, let me tell you, teachers have so much power. Parents have power too. Teachers have a lot of power that we can use to infect our teenagers. But sadly, what I notice is a domino effect. So now you have teenagers with low self-esteem growing up to adults, becoming teachers, maybe. So how are they going to help another child coming up to build their self-esteem? So All
Can I
that
just
could.
post one amen? Let me just drop an amen right there and then you could continue.
Same as parents. It could be growing up, they went through the same thing. But where do we break the cycle? Where do we say enough is enough? Let me tell you, I'm so passionate about this.
Tabby, you
I'm,
have me. I feel like the tears are there, but like I'm just one. Okay, I'm gonna stop.
I'm so passionate about it because I mean, I could bring in a bit of my experience, not in detail, but I could have been in a place where I could have a low self-esteem. But I got to a point where I say, you know what? You need to stand up for yourself. You need to believe in yourself. You see what you can do. The fact that you can see you can do something, believe it. You do not need another person to tell you. Yes, they assist you, but you need to first believe in yourself. So I've broken the cycle where I said, you know what, enough is enough. I need to stand up and stand out. We need more people like that. And there are ways that can be done. Of course, towards the end, we can share some ways that persons can build their self-esteem, especially teenagers.
Lovely. Oh my God, Tabby, if you make me cry today, I'm not gonna forgive you because this is getting too much. I want to go back a bit to the home. And you said something that is so true, especially I can only speak from the for the Caribbean parents because my parents are fully 100% Caribbean. So so we have a lot of the times when like you see a lot of prophecy being fulfilled, like self-fulfilling prophecy in that what they speak over their children is happening, and you touched on that earlier. I want to look at it from the teenager's point of view. Sometimes you go, and then that's probably not something, I don't know that you prepared for this question, but I'm sure you could shed some light. You go into the schools and you see some teenagers, they're focused on school. Some teenagers, they're like, especially the girls, they're like seeking attention from the boys. It's like they want the validation from the boys. They want the boys to make them feel special. They can't even be bothered too much in school, although they know the importance of school and it's been rung in their head, but they're looking for something else. Shed some light on that first.
I can't tell you, it is a hard thing to, you know what is right. Imagine you know what is right, but when the opportunity comes for you to do the right thing, you cannot do it because there is a battle going on in your head that, okay, you are about to do the right thing, but you remember what mommy said to you. You're about to do the right thing, but you remember what the teacher said to you. And I will keep stressing on mommy or daddy, not only mommies, but daddies and teachers, because like I tell you, these are the persons that our children, teenagers, when I was one, spent the most time with. Most times with those persons. So you find, let me give you an example. There are certain students, their mother would say something to them, I would say something to them, but they would take what I say and not what their mother say. Okay? So imagine you're that teenager, you're battling with, am I normal? Why is it that this student can focus on their work, they can pass, they have all the friends, right? And I can't get anything right in my work. Even if I study, nothing remains because imprints are on my mind about other things that have been said to me. And sometimes, you might be speaking to a teenager, I'm sure you may have experienced, maybe somebody you try to help, and you feel that they are not hearing you. And it's like you have to be repeating yourself. But let me speak from my experience. When I would have done something wrong or out of the way, I would be battling in my mind and praying and asking God to help me to do it right. Do you want to change? But the truth is, some teenagers do not have the tools, the know-how. You need to give your teenager the know-how. We take it for granted that they know everything. We take it for granted you're a teenager now, wash your clothes. You're a teenager now, cook the food. But have you taken that teenager and say, okay, this is how you wash your clothes. You sort out, you put the whites together, you do this, you do that. So I think part of the problem is after we have beat down on them, they don't have the tools and the know-how to change. So they may want to change, but they don't know how to change. So it's a constant battle in your head, to the point where some teenagers give up. Why? Because they are tired. I'm tired of that. When I do the good thing, nothing for it. When I do the bad thing, quarrel on my head. I can't take that again. And coping skills. Not everybody can handle it. And we know what happens. Some of the things that happen when they cannot cope no more. We have teenagers turning to drugs, dropouts at school, early pregnancy. Well, for the women, like you said, you made a valid point. That is so true, Nicola. If you keep on coming down on your teenage daughter, they never hear I love you. They never hear from you, you look beautiful. They never hear from you, you did it well. Right? They will seek the attention from anybody that's giving it to them. Sometimes it's the teacher, sometimes it's the bus driver. Whoever gives them that attention and makes them feel good about themselves. Key phrase for tonight. Whoever makes them feel good about themselves, it could be the boys on the block, that is where they will be gravitated to.
Wow. I want to say another amen, but I feel like I've said so many amens. People start calling me the amen girl. But this is so valid, so true. Let's bring this video to an end. Share with us some more solutions, coping skills for this hurting teenager, because I feel like this conversation could go on and on, because there are so many areas, so many different aspects for that hurting teenager, so many things that could be covered. I feel like we've covered some of the major points. Let's talk about solutions now. How would you advise that teenager, the parents, the teachers? How would you advise people in the lives of this teenager, this hurting teenager, to help?
Okay, well, the number one thing that we as a spiritual people recommend is pray. I mean, apart from prayers, there are things that you can do to cope. It is not a one size fits all. So whatever I'm listing, whatever works for you, you try, and whatever works, you go with it. First of all, you be with people who treat you well. Now, I know it might be hard, because you might say, okay, I live with my parents. How do I get away from them, or how do I get away from? In some situations, you may not be able to get away, but in situations where you have control, you stick around persons who uplift you. Persons where you go wrong, they genuinely point it out to you, and they don't just point it out, but they say, this is how it should be done. Can you try? And when you have tried and you achieve it, wow, I'm proud of you. Good job. That's one of the strategies. The next key thing is, if you can, as much as possible, teenagers, say helpful things to yourself. So anytime somebody says something to you that you do not think is true, in your mind you say, this is a lie. This is
amen.
not true.
I'm sorry, but amen. Just repeat that. Just say that again and again.
You say with conviction, this is not true about me. This is not Nicola. This is not Tabby. You need to talk to yourself and shut certain things out. Be careful to what you accept. That's another coping strategy for me. It works for me, but it's whatever works for you. Accept that we are not perfect. Accept that you will make mistakes. So there are times you need to accept correction. With some people, they believe, and I've seen it, some teenagers, they believe that you should not correct them. And the moment you try to correct them, they start to rebel. So if you understand and you leave room for you making mistakes, I'm not saying 9 out of 10 times you down on that teenager. My point I'm trying to bring across is, if they did it right once, you make a big fuss. They did it wrong 9 times, you correct in love. That's the point I'm saying. So you balance it out for them. So they will understand, hey, this mother, this teacher is looking out for my best interest, because they are highlighting when I do the right thing, and also they're correcting me when I do the wrong thing. Okay? Next, as a teenager, you set goals for yourself and you work towards it. And It's not to prove people wrong, but to prove what you are capable of, to push yourself as to how far you can go. And one of the things which happens when anybody, especially teenagers, set goals, you will get people that will not agree with your goal. We all do not have the same taste. We all do not want to be teachers. We all imagine if we were all teachers, what would happen to the world, right? So you set goals for yourself. As long as this is what you want, you stick to it. And it goes back to the first thing I said. Stick around people who is going to help you achieve those goals, who are going to help you achieve those goals. And the last two, focus on what goes well. You improve what doesn't work out. So even with setting your goals, some things will go well, or you may realize, okay, I have to re-strategize. So what doesn't go well, it ties with my last point. You ask for help and you give help. So by that, as a teenager, you are occupied. And I notice when you are idle hands, idle minds, it forces you now to think of all the naughtiness that people say to you. So as a teenager, you notice your strong points. So you set your goals, the things that worked out, you know, another friend of yours that maybe want to achieve the same goal. You say, this is what I did. Can I share it with you? Okay, you have a goal that did not work out. I know Sister Nicola is very good at writing poems. I wrote a poem, it did not come out good. Sister Nicola, what tips can you give me to help me improve on poetry? I really love poetry. So you give help and you ask for help. There are also recreational things that you can do to help you feel better. Music is one for me, let me tell you. Feeling down, feeling anxious, I listen to music and I'm just calm down, and it helps me to refocus. So whatever it is that helps you to refocus as a teenager, whether sports, music, going out, having an ice cream, going to the beach, you do little things in between to help you refocus, because of course we are humans and there are times it will be overwhelming. When it is overwhelming, you find the persons that will uplift you, back to the first point, to help you propel further. So these are some of the things I think, well, based on experience too, I have tried some, and I'm not sure if you can share your experience with some of these, but it can help.
Wow, thank you so much. Tavi, I don't think I need to share my experience. After this, after this, my belly is full, my eyes are full, everything is full right now. Yeah, I'm just overflowing. Thank you so much for sharing this. Oh my gosh, this has been so amazing. I don't want to cry. I'm not gonna cry.
Don't.
I'm not very pretty when I cry. This is the only thing that's keeping me, like, just very stable right now. But thank you, viewers who are watching. Thank you for watching. And even please like, share, subscribe. All that good stuff. But if you don't, share the link with somebody that needs this information. Forget if you don't want to be subscribed to my channel, that's fine. But please share this link. Share this link so that this information gets out there. I need the right people to hear this information because I think it's very valid. I think she touched on so many amazing points. And as a teenager, if I heard this, I think it would have helped me because I went through my share of low self-esteem and all of these issues. So yes, so I'm happy to receive it now. I'm at a better place now, but I think it's important that everyone receives that level of information. Thank you guys so much for watching. And again, Tabi, thank you. Thank you for coming out.
Bye, and thank you for viewing.
Bye.